Hello, everyone. This is Sherry Jones of Sherry Speaks Life. Welcome to the Speak Life Moment Show. I am your Speak Life midwife, here to help you learn how to speak life, love yourself, impact the world so you can birth the greatness within. Welcome to the Speak Life Moment Show. I come on live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And right now, I am excited to be streaming on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, and on Pop Gospel Speaks Radio. So hello to all of my viewers right now. I see on Facebook we have Tasha. Good evening, Tasha. We have Tina. Hey, girl. Hey. Thank you all so much for looping in with us today. So I am excited to chat with you all about today's topic. And today's topic is God's got you. Speak life moment. God's got you. How many times have you heard that or have you said that? They were having a hard time. You said God's got you. And so today I just want to break that down and break down why God's got you. I see Paul is on. Yes, you did. That's okay, brother. And I see Evangelist Tabitha is on. Good evening on Facebook. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you for the love. So as I said today, our topic is God's got you. So I say that to people a lot, particularly when they are struggling, when they're going through a hard time. And it is definitely a encouragement. It's an encouragement to say, God's got you. God's got you. But what does that mean to us when we are really struggling? When we are having a hard time? I mean, have you been going through a tough time in your life and someone telling you God's got you? You was like, yeah. What that mean to me right now? Because I am going through. So I just want to remind us of why God has got us. Okay. And I'm going to share of a few scriptures. Let me pull my Bible out here. So we're going to go to the word so that we really understand why God has got us. So the first point that I want to make and want to share with you is that nothing can separate us from the love of God. And that is from Romans 8:38-39. So I am going to read that to you all now. Okay. And just to acknowledge, I see Nancy is live on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So y'all know I got to put my readers on, but let me read that to you. So Romans 8:38-39 says, "For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, neither things present nor things to come, neither height nor depth, nor any other created thing shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord." That covers a lot of stuff, don't it, y'all? That covers a lot of stuff, saying that all of those things are not going to separate us from the love of God. It says, I am persuaded. So what does it mean to be persuaded? That means that you believe that thing. As they like to say, you believe that thing down in your shanana. Okay? You believe that thing in your shanana. And you are confident in that thing. It says you're persuaded that neither death nor life. That means whether, when you pass away, or whether unfortunately you lose a loved one, whether you're living, neither one can separate you from the Lord. It also says, neither angels nor principalities nor powers. So we know we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and high powers or powers. Then it says, neither things present nor things to come. So that means it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, the things you're going through now or the things that you're going to be going through in the future. None of that can separate you from the Lord love of God. So that means he's got you. That means he is with you always. Then it says, neither height nor depth. So that means not the high stuff, not the low stuff. Neither anything created. What's creation? We're creation, humans, animals, everything. None of that can separate you from the love of God. That's awesome, is it not, y'all? Is that not powerful? So when someone says to you, I just feel like God is not with me, I feel like I'm lost, remind them of this verse, Romans 8:38 and 39. It is telling us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. So that means he's got you. So when I tell you God's got you, I'm reminding you that nothing can separate you and the love of God. Okay? So that is our first verse that we wanted to reference. That reminder, nothing can separate you from the love of God. Then the second verse that we wanted to talk about, maybe one that you may not be so familiar with, but it is Zephaniah 3:17. That's one of those books you don't read too often. But Zephaniah 3:17, and it states, the Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exalt you with loud singing. What? What is this saying? He's in my midst. So that means no matter where I am, he is. He's always there with me. He's a mighty one. He will save. So he's there to save me. He's there to cover me. He's there to protect me. He will rejoice over me with gladness. He's excited about you. And he's glad about you. And he will quiet you by his love. So those moments in our lives when our minds are going crazy, it seems like there's so much going on in our world, and it's hard for us to sit still, it's hard for us to be quiet. He will quiet us with his love. How beautiful is that? Then he will exalt you with loud singing. Can you imagine the Lord up in heaven singing and rejoicing over you? He's got you. If he's going to do all of that, he's going to save you. He's going to rejoice over you. He's going to sing. He's going to quiet you with his love, with his presence. He's got you. God's got you, y'all. He's got you. So just wanted to remind you of that verse, Zephaniah 3:17. Put that in your memory, because when I was researching and I found that verse, I said, I don't know too much about that verse, but it is so jam-packed. So jam-packed of goodness. So jam-packed with goodness. Okay, so let's remember that verse. Okay. Then the third thing that I want to remind us of is a part of one of my favorite verses, is a part of this Psalms 23, my favorite verse. Is the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Such a simple verse, but such a powerful verse. But if we go a little further and we go to the 4th verse, it says, and this, what I have up on the screen is English Standard Version. It says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Y'all, is that not comforting to you to know that even though you're walking through the shadow of death, and what could be your shadow of death? It could be any situation that you're going through right now. Maybe you're having financial struggles. Maybe you're having problems in your marriage. Maybe you're having problems with your relationships, with your family and your friends. Maybe you're going through a bout of illness. Maybe you've lost a loved one. All of that is your shadow of death. But what does it say? Fear no evil, for you are with me. So God is with you in the midst of that storm. He never promised us that we wouldn't go through anything. I think that may be a misconception, because some people may think, well, because I'm saved, because I'm a Christian, because I'm Holy Ghost filled, I'm not going to go through anything. And if I go through something, that means there's something wrong with my faith. No, that is a lie. You need to cast that back to the pits of hell. Okay, that is a lie. You are going to go through things because our lives are full of trouble. But God is telling us in this verse that we don't have to fear that, because he is with us. God's got you. He's got you. So whatever your valley of the shadow of the death is, don't fear. He is with you. Then it says, his rod and his staff will comfort you. He's there to comfort you. He's there to hold you in his arms. He's there to show you how much he loves you. If you just take the time and commune with him, take the time and spend time with him, and he will show you how much he loves you. So this verse definitely shows us that God is with us. Shows us that he is with us. I just wanted to acknowledge here on Instagram, we have Donna. Thank you so much for joining us, Donna. So that's our 3rd verse, to remind us that God's got us. He's got you. I've been through plenty valleys of the shadow of death. I've had financial problems, marital problems. I've lost loved ones. I've experienced bout with low self-esteem, depression. All of these things are the valley of the shadow of death. But we don't have to fear those things when we know that God is with us, when we know that he's got us. He's got us in his arms. He's comforting us. He's caring for us. He's there, arms wide open, just waiting for us to run into his arms. Like if you have a child, or if you ever been around a child and they miss you, maybe they haven't seen you in a while, and maybe you're the favorite auntie or cousin or family friend or mommy or daddy, and that child sees you and they're so excited and they just run and jump into your arms. That's how God is, waiting for us. We're that child. All you have to do is just run and jump into his arms, y'all. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. He loves you so much, so much. So then the next verse that I want to explore is cast your cares upon the Lord. You are not meant to carry your burdens alone. And that is referencing 1 Peter 5:7. So I'm going to read that to you. But he's telling us, cast your cares upon me. Cast your cares upon me. How can he cast? You can cast your cares upon him because he's got you, because he's with you, because he loves you, because he's there for you. So all those burdens that you're carrying, all that heavy load, all those things that upset you, all of those things that have you down, all of those things that you are struggling with, you can just cast them on him. You don't have to carry it alone, brothers and sisters. You do not have to carry it alone. So those financial struggles, those issues with your family, those self-esteem issues, how you feel about yourself, struggling with being confident, struggling with your call. Now, I can attest to that. Maybe he's called you to do something. He's called you to do something all great, but you're afraid. You're nervous. You're not sure how to do it. He's got you. He's got you. So we're going to read 1 Peter 5:7. And it says, cast all your care upon him because he cares for you. He cares for you. So you can cast all of your cares upon him. He's there. And I know sometimes we may feel like, how could he care about me? How could he care about me because of all the things that I've done? I haven't been the perfect person. I've sinned. I've fallen short. I made bad decisions. I'm not always nice. I can be a mean somebody. How can he care about me? Well, the first verse we talked about in Romans already told us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. So even when you're sinning, even when you're in that bottomless pit, even when you feel like you the low of the low, he still loves you. He still cares about you. And he wants to carry those burdens. He wants you to cast it to him. You can't handle it on your own. If you could do it on your own, you would have already done it on your own. Right? But we can't do it on our own. We need the Lord. We need him to be there for us. So let's cast our cares upon the Lord. Give it to him. Don't think that you got to do it all by yourself. Don't think you got to fix your finances by yourself. Don't think that you got to fix your marriage by yourself. Don't think that you got to fix those crazy children that are just running amok and acting crazy. Don't think that you got to fix that by yourself. You don't have the power and the capability to fix it by yourself. I know sometimes we have a false sense of capability. God does give us capability. God does give us strength, but we can't do it all by ourselves. We need him to help us. We need his strength. We need his mercy. We need his guidance. We need his grace in everything that we do. So we need to cast our cares, cast our burdens unto the Lord. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you Instagram. He's got you Facebook, Pop Gospel Speaks, YouTube, whoever is under the sound of my voice. Even if you're watching this later and you're watching it on the replay, he got you. He got you, and you can cast your cares upon him. Then my fifth point that I wanted to remind us of, and thank you for the love there on Instagram. Thank you for the love. That we must remember that he has kept us this far. When we are in those moments and we just feel like our whole world has fallen apart, when we feel like there is no hope, we have to remember that he has kept us this far. And I wanted to reference this old gospel song. I don't know how many people know. If you know it, give me some love and some thumbs up. But it says, if you don't do anything else for me, you've done enough. You have done enough. So that's just telling God, if you don't do anything else for me, you got me, you've had me, you've been with me all of this time. You woke me up this morning. You brought me through those tests and those trials. You brought me through those difficult times in my life. You brought me through that heartache and that pain and that relationship that I shouldn't have been in, that you told me not to get in, but I got in it anyway. That situation that you tried to tell me I shouldn't get in that situation, but I did it anyway. That business deal that I thought was the next best and great thing, but it wasn't you. It wasn't in your will. It wasn't in your way. And I did it anyway. You kept me through all of that. He's got you. He caught you through all of that stuff. So if he doesn't do anything else for you, he has already done enough. And if you just hold on to that, and if you just remember that, if you just remember all of those times that you went through and he brought you out, he'll do it again. He'll do it again. You just have to wait. You just have to wait. And you will see his power work in your life. You will see his power. I mean, when I tell you, he is just a mighty, mighty God. And he has been a mighty God in my life more ways than once. So many times. So many times. And I talk about all of that in my book, Speak Life Moments, A Transformational Journey. It's a 21-day devotional. And I share those moments in my life where God kept me and where he taught me the power of speaking life, the power of my words. And one that's coming to my mind, someone needs to hear this. I don't know who needs to hear this, but when I was first got married, and I wanted a child. I've wanted children since I was like, what they say, knee high to a tadpole back in the day, country. I've always wanted children, always desired children. And so when I got married, I thought, oh, this is going to be easy peasy. I'm going to have this baby. And it took us a while. It took us a while to get pregnant. A little over a year, about a year and a half, or close to a year. I wouldn't say the full year, but I just was like, I know that you've promised me a child, so I'm just going to wait. And so my husband and I was stressed for a little while, and my husband was like, stop stressing out, stop thinking about it, and it'll come. And then boom, I got pregnant. I was so excited, y'all. I was so excited. So I went to tell my dad, and my dad, he had a stroke. So his health wasn't totally where, what used to be. And he was older. He was 83 years old. And I found out that I was pregnant, and I went and I told him, I was like, Daddy, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I even had this little bib, hello, Grandpa. And I was so excited to share this news with him. Well, I told him I was pregnant. And then he said, well, I'm not going to be here when the baby get here. I did not want to hear that. I did not want to I was not receiving that. I was not receiving that. Well, unfortunately, I told my dad I was pregnant on August 23rd. And then my my father's health failed. It really went down, and we ended up having to put him in the hospice house. And so on my birthday, I saw my son on ultrasound for the first time, because I went to the doctor because I had been bleeding and I was kind of stressed because my father was in the hospice house. And so 2 days later, he was gone. God kept me. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the Lord, I would have truly lost all of my mind, because I was a daddy's girl and I'd already lost my mom. So he was my last parent. And I say that my son is my ram in the bush because God gave me something to hold on to. That was his way of keeping me through losing my father. And so if we think about it, in the times in our lives where we've had great loss, we've also had great gains. And so for me, God was taking one man out of my life and giving me another. And so I don't know who needed to hear that encouragement or be blessed by that story, but I hope that it blessed you to know that God will keep you even in the midst of loss. Even when it seems like all hope is gone and you have nothing left to hold on to. He's there. He is there. He's got you. All right. And so that was our message today. And so just recapping, y'all know I like to recap. First, we talked about that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Remember Romans 8:38 and 39. Hold on to that verse and remember that nothing can separate you from the love of God. Then we referenced Zephaniah 3 and 17. That reminded us that God is in our midst, that he is mighty, that he rejoices over us, that he quiets us with his love, that he exalts us with loud singing. He just loves him some us. He loves him some us, and he is always there with us. And then number 3, we were reminded that even when we walk in the valley of the shadow of death, no matter what our situation is, that God is with us and that we do not need to fear, and he will comfort us. Then we were reminded that we needed to cast our cares unto the Lord, because we are not meant to carry our burdens alone. And we reference 1 Peter 5 and 7. And then lastly, we remember that he has kept us this far. And as the old gospel song says, if you don't do anything else for me, you've done enough. And that needs to be our praise to our Father. Okay. So I hope that you all enjoyed this Speak Life Moment show today, and this reminder that God has got you. And I also want to let you know that if you enjoyed the content of today's show and you would like to support us, you can buy me a coffee. You just go to buymeacoffee.com/Sherry Jones, and you can purchase a cup of tea, just to support the work that we're doing here on this show. Also, go to my website, sherryspeakslife.com, where you can learn more about my books. And you can also listen to my podcast, We Are the Church with Sherry Jones. And we will be doing some changes to the podcast coming up soon. I'll be sharing a little bit more about that as that comes about. But I thank all of you, my listeners, Pop Gospel Speaks Radio, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you all so much for tuning in this evening for the Speak Life Moment show. And I will be back on next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time for another Speak Life Moment show. Remember, I am Sherry Jones, your Speak Life midwife, and I am here to teach you how to speak life, love yourself, and impact the world so that you can birth the greatness within. So, Pop Gospel Speaks Radio family, I will chat with you next week. All right, we're going to loop off of Instagram. Thank you so much, Instagram, for watching. Love you, Nancy. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. And I'll see you and you'll see me next Monday, 7 p.m. Take care. All right, Facebook. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in. And I love you all. And I will see you next week. And let's get out my little outro video. And then I'll see you next week. Take care.